Hi there, this is David, and welcome to this week's new RPG news. I have a lot of stuff to talk about today, from Persona, to Harvestella, to Tactics Ogre, to even Pokemon. So, with all that being said, let's just go ahead and dive right into this rumor, first up, that Sony is interested in acquiring Square Enix. That's a new one, I've gotta say. Personally, I've been a huge fan of Square and Enix since I was a little kid. My very first RPG was Dragon Warrior on the NES, and I remember getting Final Fantasy when I was in 3rd grade. So I've been playing these games for a lifetime now. And they've always been kind of independent. They've always stuck to Nintendo, and then it was only in the PlayStation 1 era where they branched out to PlayStation. And then nowadays, where everything is multi-platform, they've been going multi-platform for the most part. I mean, there are some exclusives here and there. But yeah, if Sony buys them, there goes the multi-plats. They'd pretty much probably be exclusive to the PlayStation once again. So I'm reading through this article, and it's talking about how Microsoft was acquiring Bethesda and Activision and all that kind of stuff, whereas Sony really wasn't, but they do have their eyes on Square Enix, which is looking for an injection of cash right now. Now, they did say that they are not wanting to purchase every single portion of Square Enix. They're really just trying to look at one particular Square Enix team, which is Square Enix Tokyo. It says here that Square Enix Tokyo became clear why they would be interested in them because the team's most notable credits include multiple entries in the Kingdom Hearts series. So yeah, I know that's a really popular one. It's a popular mainstream one. And yeah, this is again a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt, but that is what the word on the street is right now, that Sony may be looking to purchase Square Enix, or at least one of its subsidiaries. Now we have some news on the translation scene, most notably Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. Google is your friend. It took me less than 30 seconds to find this, so just saying. The fan translation is complete and now available for download. Let me first start off with like a history lesson here for those of you who don't remember what happened in the late 90s like I do because I'm old. But anyway, Persona 2 had two parts. There was Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. Japan, of course, got both entries. We only got Eternal Punishment, and I remember the reviews at the time saying that the subtitle was very accurate because it was like being punished eternally playing this game. So yeah, wasn't really sold on getting Persona 2 at the time. But anyway, so both games were released on the PlayStation 1. We only got Eternal Punishment. However, back on the PSP, they both received ports with extra quality of life improvements. We got the PSP port of Innocent Sin, but not the PSP port of Eternal Punishment, because I guess they figured, hey, we already got it on the PlayStation, why do you need it again on the PSP? So that was their reasoning back then. But now this is finally done, finally translated. You can play it with an upgraded fan translation, as well as some modernized gameplay elements and a new playable scenario featuring the protagonist of the prior entry, Tetsuya, dealing with his activities before Eternal Punishment begins. So yeah, if you are a fan of the Persona series, you're really going to want to check this one out and really see where it all began. Next up, we have some news on FUGA, Melodies of Steel 2, as well as some gameplay elements that are revealed. So, FUGA, Melodies of Steel 1, came out a while ago, and I made a review on that game back when. It is a tactical RPG. It's a whole lot of fun. It's kind of visual novel-y, but it's not that bad. It has a lot of story elements, a lot of branching paths and stuff. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. I did enjoy it. That's the nuts and bolts of my review, but if you want to go check it out, it's there. So do that. But anyway, it says that it will be released sometime in 2023 for the previous and current generation Xbox and PlayStation consoles, as well as the Switch and the PC. Furthermore, the game will feature improved gameplay mechanics and an expanded story and more. Right now, they are through with 60% of the game's development, and the sequel is going to take place a year after FUGA Melodies of Steel true ending. So if you have played the game and you did beat the game like I did, then you're going to get some extra bonuses and special content whenever you start playing the sequel. It says that the story cutscenes will be twice the volume and will continue to focus on Malt as the protagonist as well. I found that the story was okay in the first game, so having it be twice the volume might be a bit much, but I know that a lot of people like these visual novel things. It says that they're also revealing Turbo Mode, which speeds up the route progression movement, and that will be available on launch. So that's really nice. Then there's a judgment system where player choices will affect the outcome of the story, as well as interactions and relationships between characters. So yeah, if you enjoyed FUGA 1, then you're probably more than likely going to enjoy FUGA 2. I will definitely be checking this one out. Now we have Monochrome Mobius Rights and Wrongs Forgotten. Okay, that's a mouthful, and so is its namesake, and I'm going to butcher this, so I'm going to apologize in advance. This game is to celebrate 20 years of the Utowerirumono series. I know. I've never played that series before, but I had a lot of people comment on my previous new RPG news video and was like, hey, what about this series? And I was like, I don't really know much about the series, but hey, I'll talk about this particular game. So I did a little bit of research. The Utowerirumono games are tactical turn-based visual novel things, kind of like the Digimon Survive stuff, which I'm not a fan of the visual novel. So, but this is much more like a traditional turn-based JRPG with like a world that you can explore, turn-based battles. It's not strategy-based, and it doesn't really look to be visual novel-y either. So I can't believe that these games have been around for 20 years now. I remember when they first came out, and I remember reading the back of the box and looking at it in the game store and being like, oh, I kind of figured it out that it was a visual novel, and I'm like, nope, let me put that right on back on the shelf. But this takes place, I want to say a couple of years before the first game in the series. Again, I don't know much about this series. I'm sure that it will be heavily story-driven. It does say that it focuses on the heart of every great RPG, the story. So, whereas it is much more JRPG-esque, it's still going to have that story focus right there. So, this is going to be out on the PlayStation 5 and 4 only in Japan physically, unfortunately, but we'll have it digitally via Steam worldwide on September 8th. So this one's coming out in about a month or so. Pretty soon. If y'all know more about this series and you think it's something that might be up my alley, let me know. If it's all just visual novel stuff, then yeah, I'll pass. One of my most anticipated games of the year, Harvestella. We have more information. This is mostly just a whole bunch of screenshots that I want to go through, but it talks about the town, the jobs, character stories, and all that stuff. So I do really just want to show you all these pictures. They're just so pretty! They're so pretty. It looks like springtime in Sim City with all the cherry blossoms blooming, but the entire town is like this shade of pink. Absolutely gorgeous. Some concept artwork right there. And each season is represented in this game. We're going to go through the 4 seasons, and then there's like a season of death at the end. It's kind of like Square Enix answer to Harvest Moon. So, yeah. It looks like the protagonists live in an orphanage, that sort of thing, but they're out to save the world because, yeah. Oh, it looks like the occupation is a teacher at the orphanage, so it looks like your main character is a teacher at the orphanage. Interesting. That doesn't look like any teacher that I've ever seen, but okay, whatever, Japan. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on here. You know what it reminds me of? Nayuta Endless Trails, and I've said that before, insofar as just all the seasons happening, the the action-based combat. It looks like there's different jobs that you can take up. It says by recruiting a character with a certain job, the player-controlled protagonist will be able to use that same job. So you have to go around and help various townsfolk, and then you'll get access to their jobs. There's other characters that you're going to help along as like side quests and learn more about the character stories. The art style kind of looks like Davidvinc Chronicles right here, with kind of that I don't know, like little chibi things, and just like the little teeny tiny feet that they have. You can go fishing and do farming and stuff. This just looks like such a cute game. And again, normally I'm not really a fan of the Harvest Moony type stuff, but whenever you combine actual gameplay into it, then I'm all about it. So I am totally looking forward to this. It is out on the Switch and Steam November 4th worldwide. It is a good time to be a JRPG fan. We're getting tons of games. For the past couple of weeks, I've been reporting to y'all about Tactics Ogre Reborn. It was a rumor, now it's the real deal, and it's coming out really soon, actually, just like a week after Harvestella on November 11th. Again, this winter is just packed. Coming out for the PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. So it was a rumor before, now we have confirmation. Looks like it's going to be available for $50 as a physical and digital edition. So I, of course, will be picking up the physical edition because that's what I do. Looks like there's some pre-order bonuses for the digital standard edition, so I don't care about that because I'm not getting it digital. In Japan, it comes with like this tarot card thing with a storage pouch and a mat and all this kind of junk. But of course, we're not getting that. It's kind of unfortunate, I must say. So, let's talk about Tactics Ogre. My first experience with the Tactics Ogre series was actually Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen, released in 1993 for the SNES. I remember getting the strategy guide for it one Christmas because my mother couldn't actually find the game, and then for my birthday, my mother found the game and gave it to me, and I already had the strategy guide for it, and I've already like devoured the strategy guide by reading it all about it. So yeah, it was probably one of my very first tactical RPGs, so I really didn't understand it all that much. Tactical RPGs were very rare back then, but then Tactics Ogre came out on the PlayStation, and because March of the Black Queen was kind of like and again I didn't really understand it, I didn't buy Tactics Ogre. That all changed when Final Fantasy Tactics came out. Then I wanted to get Tactics Ogre, but by that point, you couldn't find the game! So I was just kind of screwed. So I was able to finally play it on the PSP whenever that came out in 2010. So, this is a remake of the PSP version of the game, with improved quality of life features like graphics and artificial intelligence, sound improvements, fully voiced cutscenes in English and Japanese, redesigned battle systems to make the enemies much smarter, and leveling by characters and not classes, thank God. So just like Harvestella, we have a bunch of pictures here, and I really just kind of want to go through all these pictures here and just show you what you're getting yourselves into. Final Fantasy Tactics was actually based upon Tactics Ogre. So if you like Final Fantasy Tactics, you need to see where it all began with Tactics Ogre. It has class-based battle systems, has special characters that can join you. It's really very cool. Uses kind of like that old Englishy adult storyline about war and politics, political intrigue, backstabbing, that sort of stuff. That's what you're getting into with Tactics Ogre here. The isometric viewpoints, this beautiful world map reminds me a lot of Ivalice, all that kind of stuff. That's what you're looking for here. There's a lot of information here about the various characters. I don't want to go into all that stuff, but I just want to just share the excitement that this is coming out so soon, and I cannot wait. Okay, here's a new one, even kind of for me. Sword and Fairy Together Forever is going to be launching in early 2023 in the West for the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. And this is pretty much going over the various collector's editions that we have right here. So we have a premium physical edition and a premium collector's edition. So the premium physical is going to cost $50 right here, and it looks like it comes with a reversible cover sheet. This is a Chinese RPG, so it says authentic Chinese design, a set of 4 high-quality chipboard standees of the main characters, download code for some modern design costumes for the main characters, soundtrack download code as well, and some unique PS4 themes. Now, for $50 more, which is quite a chunk of change, I must say, you get the Premium Collector's Edition, which includes everything in the last one, but it also includes, it says, a wholly unique CCG collectible card game. I'm figuring this out. Deck set of in-game Journey to Heaven and Earth, 2-player playmat for the CCG, adorable iconic fairy plush, looks like Hoodle, super cute, a steelbook game case, 4-disc original soundtrack CD set, and then we have some print postcards. I don't know if I'll be getting this one, that's a little bit too rich for my blood, although it looks gorgeous. Maybe this one, though, I must say. So, it says that it's coming out digitally for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 on August 4th worldwide. That's not exactly early 2023, but whatever. And it says physical editions will be available in Japan and Asia on the same day with English language support. Now, let's talk about this for just a moment. Sword and Fairy has a pretty long-running RPG in China. It has not ever been released in the West until October 21st of last year, whenever Sword and Fairy 7 came out on Steam. Sword and Fairy 7 first launched via Steam October 21st, 2021. Now, I first heard about this whenever a member of my Discord channel, Tan, she started playing the game and she was like, hey, this is kind of odd, but it's a really good game. She actually really enjoyed it. She said that the main problem, though, was kind of the machine-ish translation. The translation was really, really wonky. So hopefully they fix that in this Sword and Fairy Together Forever game, since they really are trying to promote this in the West, I see. So yeah, if Sword and Fairy 7 is anything to go by, she really enjoyed that, and I do value her opinion quite a bit, then this one should be good as well, and I, for one, am always willing to give a new RPG a chance, so I'll be checking this one out. And the last thing that I want to talk about here is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and we got a ton of new information about these games. Now, I've said it before that Pokemon wasn't exactly my cup of tea, because it was always the same old thing, constantly, and it was a lot of monster capturing, and I like to just have my set party and know who I'm dealing with, whether it's 4 people, 8 people, or 12 people, whatever, but like 300? That was a bit much, a little bit overwhelming, so I couldn't really ever get into Pokemon. However, that all changed with the recently released Pokemon Arceus. I picked that up and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It was open region, and you can go, like, once you made it to one region, you could explore that region and then you go to the next region and so on and so forth. So even though it was open region, it was still rather linear. However, that seems to all be changing in Scarlet and Violet. Number one, there's 2 different Pokemon games, just like all the other Pokemon games, except for Arceus. But this is also open world. You can go to the towns in any order that you want to. You can go to the gyms in any order that you want to as well. And it used to always be that you would go from, the first gym to the second gym to the third gym to the fourth gym. Everybody went in the same little line, and that was that, and that was the end. But now the world is your oyster, and you can go out and explore in whatever order that you want to. What I'm guessing is going to happen is, since it is kind of open gym, like, depending on how many badges you'll have will tell you how strong the next guy is. Like, if you have 1 badge, then, the gym leader won't be that strong. But if you walk in there and you have 6 badges or so, then that gym leader who would previously be kind of weak at 1 badge will be much stronger whenever you have more badges. That would just make a whole lot of sense to me. Also, it says that there are, like, different stories. It says weave 3 grand stories into your adventure as you meet Pokemon that you've never seen and unique characters. So you can go and you can play it whatever way that you want to. It says that there are 2 other grand stories besides your own of becoming a champion. So that's pretty neat. They're not really telling you what those stories are, but you can freely go back and forth between the various stories, allowing your adventures to develop in the way that you want to. So that's really neat. Again, this is open world. Go to the towns in whatever order you want to, go to the gyms in whatever order you want to, capture the Pokemon in whatever order you want to. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I really enjoyed Pokemon Arceus, and I'm kind of getting back into the series. I remember playing Blue whenever it came out in high school, and then being like, I don't think so, I'll pass on the other ones. And then Arceus came out, and I'm like, yeah, this is much more my speed, and this seems my speed as well. I am looking forward to that. So, what news stories are you looking forward to the most? What did you enjoy? And if there's anything, again, that you would like for me to cover in a future new RPG news video, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to look into it. And as always, have a good day.